were,
There we go,
and a
I'm
fight
recording as
broke
well.
out.
Good.
We managed to take out the goblins and two hooded figures, and freeing Balthazar and Siren. After that, we continued down further into the cave where we found the room of the head person of this specific area. After searching around, Nero was able to find a locket of what she assumes is the cultist lady and her possible dead lover / husband thing. After that, they went to what seems to be the experimental area, where they found the body of someone who was in the same group as Nero and Balthazar and Siren. They started to hear the voice of the woman, forget exactly what she says, and Neo became charmed, and the two bodies in the room became zombies.
Oh goody.
So I can
remember some key bits on what she said.
and I can recall that as well if you would like.
Yeah, because I don't have the foggiest idea of what she said.
Okay, so
I know it was something to do with like world peace and something like that.
okay, so to recall what happened was as you enter the room, you're immediately greeted by the sight of tables strewn with various alchemical supplies. You see empty vials smashed across the floor. You see specks of blood. On one table you see a series of 3 bowls filled with a reddish viscous substance. In them, sitting inside the bowls, are 3 large black crystalline formations. Even the very bowls they sit in seem to have crystalline formations attached to them, almost growing out of them in a way. You're also hit with the strong scent of decay and copper. You see a body caked in blood, kind of looks like they were previously restrained to the table in the centre of the room. The shackles now kind of falling off to the side. His skin is pale and his features are gaunt. You recognise him as human. Balthazar, you know him as one of your previous comrades in your band of mercenaries. And you see down his forearms, you see 2 deep gashes cut through the flesh. The skin around it is stained red with blood. Looks like this poor soul has been long dead. Over on the other side, far side of the wall, kind of strung up by his wrists, is an orcish mail. Strewn across his front is a large strain of dried blood, which likely emanated from the larger slitted gash through his throat. Balthazar, you also recognise this as another one of your compatriots, specifically the one that used to cook for you. And yeah. And over the nearby black crystals, you also see an ornate mirror, which kind of glimmers in the torchlight. Then you all begin to hear a voice in the room. It's a raspy feminine voice. And you look around, you find nobody seems to be talking, but you hear the voice nonetheless. Ah, welcome back, little one. I see you brought a few friends with you. You must have travelled quite a distance, told many tales to acquire these new friends. I must admit, I admire your deception, little kobold. As for the rest of you, well done. You've solved the riddle. You found our small corner of the woods. But a small part of a much larger plan. You've ruined our alchemy operations, foiled our little project to keep this absent-minded wizard busy in his little tower, and now you plan to finish off me. I have to admire your guile. It is most definitely worthy of a fine round of applause.
Sucky bitch.
But know this. You're the only group to succeed in getting this far. You tamper and poke your fingers into things you don't understand. You are like children playing with forces greater than you could ever hope to comprehend. You think these setbacks will impede this destruction of the Ebony Enclave? No. The plan's already reached its apex. Your ebony hideouts in your petty small town will be washed away, along with the rest of the wood and stone. All will succumb to the sea. And then our era of peace shall reign about unchallenged. You will follow the all-seeing into the new age, and all those left behind shall fall again, and then rise once more. I find it quite a disappointment in a way. Then for a brief moment, Siren... Siren smells the strong scent of decay near her face, kind of stronger than it was once before. And she feels the warm breath against her ear. She feels the voice whisper almost seductively into it, and the rest of you also hear this. Some of you had such potential. And there's a brief pause before it begins once more. Once again, kind of sourceless in its origin. As for you, little kobold, are you quite sure you wish to refuse our invitation to this glorious new dawn? You feel this kind of slight tingling sensation in your mind. You find yourself unable to resist this sourceless voice. You're drawn to it. All of a sudden, you want to reconsider your plan to betray this cult. This new era of peace, of this of lack of war, lack of conflict. This the need not to experience death, the sadness of loss of loved ones sounds very, very convincing. Then in a black cloud of mist, whirling about like some sort of small tornado, blackened with ash, this standing before you all is a pale, gaunt woman, appearing to be in her mid-30s. Bright, glowing red eyes, kind of dressed in a long, elegant robe, with a ruined, hooded vest draped across her bare shoulders. Across her head she wears an obsidian headdress with two long, curled horns over her kind of shoulder-length mane of ghostly white hair. And to remind you all of what she looks like, I will show you all, if I can get this to stop being slow.
You already served us a picture last time.
Yes, it's in your handouts under NPC characters. This mysterious cultist woman.
Yeah, don't forget to stick us on the map.
Yeah, I'll get there. Don't worry.
Okay.
Across, kind of holstered at her side are two vicious-looking black blades that kind of glimmer in the torchlight. You notice her skin is withered and pulled taut against her bones in places, especially around her midriff. And where some of the flesh appears to be missing, exposing kind of blackened, bony ribs.
Ugh.
Then she curls her index finger of her one skeletal hand towards you, Neril. You begin to walk towards her. As Neril wanders over to her side, the woman drapes a thin arm across her shoulder. There, my child. All is forgiven. All are welcome in the arms of our grave father. Of course, not all sins are without redemption. And she steps back and pulls up her hood. Her blades unsheathe themselves and seem to float mid-air by her side. With her free hand...
The player view.
Pardon?
You haven't moved the player view.
I know. Don't worry. I will get there.
Yeah, we're still technically in recap moment.
Mm.
We're good, little boy. We're good.
So the blades seem to float mid-air by her side, and with her free hand, she gestures towards the series of soul stones by the table, and kind of yanks a closed fist through the air. The soul stones begin to kind of shatter themselves into many thousands of glass-like black shards, unleashing 2 streaks of howling black mist. She moves her arms in a graceful kind of mesmerizing motion as all the shards begin to file into each other almost like a deck of cards following a long snake-like motion, creating a kind of circle behind her. Then you watch the dead body begin to stir. One stream of black mist shrieks through the air, kind of disappearing into the mouth of the gaping mouth of the corpse on the table in the center of the room. The eyes snap wide open, the eyes kind of dulling into an abyssal black. The veins across his dead face, spidering out with a familiar darkness. The body kind of lurches upright. Yeah! And he kind of looks to all of you and growls, lumbering off the table. You see the very same thing happen to the body into the other corner of the room. The orcish individual you saw hanging by the wrist kind of slumps to the ground as the shackles release themselves before it stumbles to its feet. Come and redeem yourselves, my dears. Slay them. So, I would like you all to roll initiative.
Once we get back. Yay! Oh, let me just find where we went. Oh, there we are. Found it. Yeah!
Yep.
Then we get right in there and yeet her.
Alright.
Quick question while everyone's rolling their initiative. Gainer.
Yep.
By the way she was motioning her hands and stuff, is it clear that she's like, I mean, she's got the Bellum doesn't know much about magic and casts and stuff, but his sort of rudimentary thinking is that they're like not physically capable and they do lots of weavy hand that match that stereotype.
Roll a history check.
Okay. Yay, something I'm not good at. Bwomp.
Nope, this is not familiar to you at all. In fact, I would like everyone to roll a history check.
In his brain, it's like, if it's a magic thing, I'm gonna do this, but if it's a physical thing, I'm gonna do this. Sort of thing. He doesn't know much about magic.
Hindsight is 1919. Wait.
Hang on.
Jeez, Huckram's on the other side of the door.
Just to clarify, Siren was able to figure out that I'm most likely being charmed or something. But
Yes.
that player's not here.
Right. One question: how do I whisper players?
/W space, and it'll start to
Oh
pull
wait,
up
no.
the-
Actually, I created the room above for this very purpose.
Ah.
So, one moment. So,
Oh.
this fighting style is very familiar to you. The elegant the elegant gestures, the hand motions, the way the shards of soul stones begin to kind of whip through the air and curl around as if extensions of their very being. This is the martial art of the Blade Dancer. It was originally an orcish martial art until the Blade Dancer's code spread to the wider world around the time of the War of the Undying. Only women are permitted to take this art, to take part in this art, and only a select few are permitted into the Sisterhood. But there are very few in number, and the Blade Dancers are viciously skilled in battle. And before they turned their outlook and recruitment to the wider world from their orcish roots, they proved invaluable in their wisdom and skill in battle with the armies of the Orcish Empire.
So, an ancient Orcish martial art that was only reserved for women.
It was once an Orcish art, yes, but now it's kind of spread to the wider world, and it included more into its ranks, and it even for an Orcish martial arts, it's strangely beautiful in a way, and it does anger you to see this once honourable and beautiful martial art now sullied with the poison of necromancy.
And this is the Arngrim knowledge.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so back to the room. Okay, so
Hello.
Oh.
Ooh.
Oh. Arngrim's just like, oh.
yes, right. Let me get the turn order going with the other characters.
Yes, what we take away from this is that Vellum still knows absolutely jack all about magic. Arngrim knows all the things.
I mean, you can look at it.
This mighty +2.
It's gonna be something like that. Vellum is like that dude who doesn't believe in magic at all, to the point where it has no effect. Illusions? Nah.
The hell
Yeah,
are you
Ben's
talking
like,
about
"I'll fucking-
planes and shit? There's no arcana plane. No, doesn't exist. That elemental isn't real. Can't hurt me.
Fireball my ass.
Balls, hang on. Got too much stuff going on, Sid Savin, isn't it?
Hello. I mean, if Aven's character's on, if he's not here, then you can just say they're not in combat for X, Y, Z.
No, I gotta do this.
Yeah, you kind of balance the fight with
Yeah.
them in mind.
Yeah.
You know what I realized? We could effectively flank the lady so easily.
Oh yeah. I mean, Arngrim and Vellum are going to be behind her in a second. You guys are in front and go a couple to the side as well.
By the way, another music.
Yeah, that's fucking excellent.
Is the music too loud?
No.
Nah.
And the great thing is, if it is a little bit too loud, we have our own volume sliders.
Yeah.
We do.
I assume you can see the names of the enemies there, yeah?
No.
Right, okay, perfect. Now for the big lady.
No, don't forget the sword.
I've taken that into consideration, don't worry.
Oh right, you meant rolling this time. my brain.
Right. Vellum, what would you like to do?
Ooh, many things. Well, physically she doesn't